Jewish Imaginaries of the Spanish Civil War in Search of Poetic Justice was published by Bloomsbury in 2022. The volume that I edited includes an in-depth introduction, 11 collaborations written by scholars working in Argentina, Mexico, Israel, France, the USA, Canada, Spain, and the Netherlands, and a conclusion under the title Poetic Justice for the Lost Spain, Deciphering Jewish Keys in Modern and Contemporary Imaginaries, that contrast my own previous research with the debates opened by the collaborators of the volume. So the volume defines the Jewish literature, music, and aesthetics of the Spanish Civil War produced during and after this historical event. It identifies dozens of texts and analyzes them from philological, semiotic, and cultural perspectives. From a historical perspective, it categorizes the catastrophes of the Spanish Civil War and the Shoah as a concatenated epistemic event. This epistemic event implied, along with the mass exiles and genocide, the devastation of several dimensions of knowledge, social practices, and cultural traditions. These related wars fractured the spine of modernity. They left a semiotic void that was very often impossible to fill. In the best of cases, only traces, vestiges, and ashes were to remain, and they required the spark of investigation to resurface and illuminate the past and the present with new meanings. In contrast, this epistemic event also triggered the human mind and spirit to produce new knowledge and a deep thinking relating modern forms of evil. More particularly, it opened the era of testimony, empathy, new ethics, political reorganization, international law, and human rights, which allowed to resinify the Western culture. From a cultural perspective, a codified Jewish literature developed under the new camouflaged or converted identities that through different kinds of textualities managed to produce a variable continuity of Jewish discourses and poetic modes, enriching the Jewish experience. In this context, where contemporary Spain often overlapped with imagination on Sepharad, also new Jewish imaginaries merged the cosmopolitan contemporary experience with Jewish transhistorical memory. The volume Jewish Imaginaries of the Spanish Civil War adduces that writing and composing embodied poetic justice as a response to historical injustice. The collaborator of this book, Asher Salah, Antonio Notario Ruiz, Leonardo Senkman, Mauricio Pilatowski, Deborah Green, Melina Di Miro, Golda van der Meer, Emily Robbins Sharpe, Tabea Alexa Linhard, Elena Huvenagel, Rose Duroux, and myself, Cynthia Gabbay, explore the cultural work, experience, and semiotic networks related to the Spanish Civil War imaginaries of authors like the Argentinians Mika Feldman, Simon Radowitzki, Alberto Gerchunov, Samuel Glusberg, the North African Leona Serrat, the Austrian Hans Eisler, the Hispano-Mexicans Max Aub and Angelina Muniz Uberman, the Yiddish New York writers Jacob Gladstein and Aaron Glanz-Leiles, the Canadians Charles Yale Harrison, Ted Allen, A.M. Klein, and Miriam Working-Weddington, the German Ruth Rivalde, and the Spanish Marife Santiago Bolaños, among many others. The work on this corpus, which remains open to new discoveries, represents the first significant study on the Jewish literature and aesthetics of the Spanish Civil War. It epitomizes the memory and post-memory construction of a large cultural dismemory at the present time, where the Hispanic and the Jewish worlds are rethinking their common experience and cultural ties. Maurice Halbwachs, who eventually died in Buchenwald concentration camp, stated in 1925 that individual memory has no place in the framework of social memory if the social conditions of reception and acceptance of the past are not in place. Forgetting is explained by the disappearance of these frameworks, he said. This volume proves that we are ready to rethink the Jewish role in the anti-fascist struggle, but also the Jewish semiotic response to this memory. I hope that through this same volume we have added to that poetic justice and epistemic reconstruction. Thank you.